Hello everyone, how's it going with you guys? New video from Passive Passion Online Income, where in today's video I'm going to be talking on the topic of real estate in general, but with a better and slightly different strategy on owning real estates from $4,000 onwards. Yes, you must be wondering, it sounds too good to be true, but it is true. It's not a paradox, all right, and I will be getting into the details soon. So to begin with, real estate happens to be one of the best and one of the most sought after investments, not only for entrepreneurs but for any investor that's beginning. I mean, if you were to take the stock market and leave it aside, the most sought after investment that comes in people's mind is real estate investing. Now, whenever people think of getting started with real estate, the first thought that comes to their mind is they need to be owning huge or surplus amounts of cash or money in order to go and make the purchase for, let's say, any real estate apartment that they plan to give it out on rent for investing purposes. However, the other ways to go about it would be to make use of people's money. In other words, approach the banks, take loans, and buy the property of your choice. This method may work to a certain extent, provided you are making a positive cash flow from your real estate investments. Now, do note that if you now do note that there will be times when you will not be able to get the required amount of loan approved. This mainly happens if you do not have a good credit score with the bank, and also there are times that it takes you quite a while to build that strong credit score with the banks. And when these things happen, it can actually take a toll on your mind. It can give you quite a lot of unnecessary stress when you're not able to accomplish your goals of owning that particular real estate property. Now, I am an active real estate investor. However, before getting started with real estate investing, before becoming a major real estate investor, I started investing my money in the transportation and cargo industries. My first experience was with the vehicle leasing companies, all right, where I used to purchase vehicles, and I used to give them out on rent to different vehicle leasing companies out in the world. So that every month I get my rentals paid into my respective bank accounts. It started doing well, and now I'm a person who does a lot of research, and I'm always looking for new investment prospects. I'm not someone who just likes to keep my money in one particular basket. So it's always about learning something new that can help me grow my money, in different fields, not necessarily real estate. The other interesting investment that I always love to invest my money is agro farming. We'll be talking about that in some other video. So coming back to the shipping containers thing, while doing my research, I noticed that this so-called entity, which is the shipping container, is a profitable investment, mainly because there are now when I say profitable, you need to do your due diligence. You need to go around, look for some really good companies that's going to pay you a minimum of 10 to 12% of returns on your invested amount, with the containers. So how it works is there are two options. The first option is there's a plan which is called the aggressive plan. Now, what an aggressive plan means is, let's say you own 5 shipping containers to begin with. You lease it out to certain companies, to a certain company, all of it. And what they do is they pay you returns based on the business. All right, they pay you returns based on the business of your containers. What I mean by that is, let's say I have bought 5 containers and I have given it on lease to a company called ABC, which is based in Hong Kong. Now, what this company does is, in return, it subleases my containers to the people who are in great need of shipping containers. These could be suppliers, these could be manufacturers, these could be normal individuals, who want to park their goods from point A to point Z. So what happens is, this goes on a weekly basis, this goes on a daily basis. So this is a daily business, all right, for these leasing companies. So based on the business, let's say they had a good business wherein they were able to make huge amounts of money, you get somewhere about 20 to 25% of returns. Now I'm talking in terms of an annual basis, all right, not on a monthly basis. So if you take this plan, the aggressive plan, you are going to be paid to roughly about 20 to 25% of ROI based on your invested amount. So that could be somewhere about $2,000, or let's say $1,000, $800. It just varies. So it varies mainly because this isn't a fixed plan wherein you're going to be given a fixed amount for your invested amount. So you need to keep that in mind. You aren't going to be earning a fixed rate of return on a monthly basis, because you have signed a contract, all right, and you have made a deal with this particular company that no matter how much or no matter how the business is, you are ready to take, whatever share of the pie that they are willing to offer you. So however, I need to tell you that this was a plan which I did try initially when I got started, because I was fascinated with the concept of 20 to 25%. However, after 6 months or 7 months, I started noticing that my income started dwindling, all right? Let's say if I was making an average of $1,000 to $1,500, it started going down to $500, $400, $300, because I knew that it was a fluctuating entity completely, especially if I were to take this particular plan, the aggressive plan, which isn't fixed, which varies, and it's completely dependent on the business of the shipping containers for that particular week or month. So that's how, and you will be paid on a monthly basis, by the way. Okay. So that's when I realized that this is just causing a lot of, it's just causing a lot of trouble for my overall budget plans, and I think I need to convert this plan into a fixed plan, wherein I'm going to be paid something between 10 to 12% on a yearly basis. So that's what I did. I called up my manager, told him to change the contract, and told him to make it a fixed plan contract, so that every month I know what person, or let's say what amount of rent I'm going to be paid. So currently I own about 30 containers, all right, 30 containers with a company that's based in Hong Kong, which is called Pacific Tycoon, and I own another 30 containers with a company called Deraco Containers, Deraco, which is based in the UK. Deraco pays me somewhere between 10 to 12%, all right, and Pacific Tycoon pays me 12%. Now the question that I often get asked is, why not I give all my containers to Pacific Tycoon? Because Pacific Tycoon pays me about 12%, whereas Deraco pays me around 10%. So why don't I do that? But my thinking is, it's better to diversify, give my containers to different companies, rather than having all in one particular company alone. It's been 6 years now since I've been doing this investment, or since I'm into this investing business of shipping containers, and I have already made, I would say, 70% of my ROI back. And that is mainly because I started with the aggressive plan, all right? The first year, my returns were based on the aggressive plan, and then the following year, I decided to change it and go for the fixed plan. So it's a great business. It's a great way to park your money and ensure that your money constantly grows for you, all right? Rather than just keeping it in your bank accounts and expecting, some sort of interest to make you rich. That's just a silly advice which many people give, just to park your money or invest it in mutual funds. You need to understand, guys, investing in schemes like, now I'm not against mutual funds, but I'm more passionate or more keen to invest my money in something that gives me that control, or that gives me that say. The thing with these shipping container industries is that they give you complete details in the sense, every month you are sent an income statement report, all right, on how much your containers are. So you are able to keep a track of what your earnings are for that particular month. When you begin, you're given the now there are two ways to make the purchases. One, you can either go to China or without flying to China, Malaysia, Singapore, where you get some of the best quality containers. you can do that. You can go there, you can go to the factories directly, and then you can buy the containers, and then tell them to send your containers to this particular leasing companies, whichever you decide to rent out your containers to. Second option will be to pay these leasing companies, all right, the price for their shipping containers. They're going to buy shipping containers, and now there are two type of shipping containers which are predominantly popular in this business. One is a 20 feet shipping container, and the other one is a 40 feet shipping container. 20 feet shipping container will cost you somewhere around $2,000 to $2,500. 40 feet shipping container will cost you somewhere about $3,500 to $4,000. Alright, I'm just giving you an average price, but then again, it depends on suppliers, manufacturers. You need to do your research and find out some really good suppliers. If you want help, contact me, send me an email, and I can put you in touch with my fleet manager, who in both the companies, in Tadaco as well as Pacific Tycoon, and he can help you. I mean, he can introduce you to this whole investment of shipping containers thing. So coming back to the point, that's how you can do it. So the second option is you send the money to these leasing companies, and then they're going to buy the shipping containers for you, and then deploy them to the right suppliers or to the right companies. And once that is done, they send you your ownership certificates. Each container comes with a serial number, all right, so that it's easy for them to trace and locate your containers no matter which part of the world it is in. Other important aspect is all your containers are going to be insured, all right. So let's say, God forbid, there happens to be some sort of a calamity or some sort of an accident or some sort of a mishap, all right. Let's say your containers get sunk into the ocean, due to some sort of accident or natural disaster. Now, you don't have to worry about it, all right, because the insurance companies are going to take care of it. It's going to be replaced with, from these insurance company that has taken the responsibility for your shipping containers. So you're covered with that. So overall, I would say it's a very good investment to get started. If you are someone who has this feeling that you need to own millions and millions of dollars to get started with real estate, or to get started with investments like these, which requires humongous amounts of funds, then you're absolutely wrong, all right. So do your research, you do a little bit of due diligence. It's a very good way to get started, and I would advise you at least to have I mean before getting started, all right, you need to set down your goals. Now, once again, I wouldn't advise you to get started with this before you become entrepreneurs. Start your own business. Again, I always keep preaching this, and it's the same thing again that I want to talk about. Become entrepreneurs first. Start good businesses. Have at least a positive cash flow of $10,000 coming in every month on a consistent basis. Once you have this much money once you have got this much amount of money working for you, then you can diversify your funds, buy some shipping containers, and at the same time start saving to make some good real estate investments too. So my advice would be, build a business that brings in $10,000 to $15,000 per month of cash flow, positive cash flow, net profit I'm talking about, not the gross profit. And then once that happens, then you can start buying shipping containers, and then once you own about, let's say, 10 to 20 shipping containers, that should bring you at least a minimum of $1,000 to $1,200 approximately. And once that happens, then you can get into real estate, start buying condominiums. Now remember, do not get into real estate investing with a means of or with the purpose of showing off or showing around. Start and buy properties which you can afford, right? Look for condominiums that is priced at a range of $50,000 to $100,000, or let's say $150,000 to $200,000. Something which you can afford. Renovate it if required, so that it turns out to be a very appealing and enticing property for any new prospective tenants. Give it to a good property management companies. Let them go and find out tenants for you, so that you don't have to go through the nuisance or hassles of finding the required tenants, so that you can focus on your other important businesses. So this is something which I've been wanting to talk on for a quite long time, but been involved with quite a lot of other businesses and projects and mentoring programs, I haven't got the time. So if you guys are interested, do want to get some more details about it, do let me know. Send me an email. My email address is mentioned below, and yeah, I can help you get started with it. Any questions related to the shipping container investing or business, put in your comments below. And then if you want me to make any more videos related to this sort of an investing, shipping containers, or ATM business is another good hard asset that people should be investing in. I'll be making another video on that maybe later on. So do let me know. Yeah, put in your comments. And want to get started with business online. The easiest business to get started would be self-publishing business before you start diversifying into some of the different businesses like affiliate marketing stuff. So the links are below, all right, for some of the best self-publishing courses out in the market. And want to reach me out, my email address is mentioned below too. So that's all, guys. We will be coming out with more videos. Take care and God bless.